Welcome in. A lot of flat ownership this week. We got a lot to get through. Plenty of options at quarterback in week 13. A couple of cheap running backs that we got to look at. I'm not really going to stomach playing them. They're kind of gross, but they bring a lot of value, a lot of options for keeping our salary low. So that's nice. A lot of elite wide receivers everywhere we look on this slate. They're all in good spots. Love the wide receivers this week. There is a tight end that I love. You might have saw him on the thumbnail. Let's go ahead and jump right into this thing. Tell him to bring me my money. Welcome into the Rumbles of Red, powered by Stadium Rant and StadiumRant.com. You can find me live every Friday night, 8:15 Central Time, on the Stadium Rant YouTube page and on the Rumbles of Red YouTube page. How was your turkey day? Did you guys win some money? That's the last time we talked, went through that turkey day slate. I meant to be out here on Friday after Thanksgiving. Just didn't work out. Really, honestly, I wasn't ready. I didn't have enough time to put in the research before a show Friday night. Fortunately, I got some time in before Sunday, won a little money there. So I like that a lot. But how'd your turkey day slate go? How did your Sunday last week go for week 12? Guys, it feels like we're a long ways away, right? It feels like we're almost through the season. We're only through 12 weeks of the season. We have 6 more regular season games left. That's a third of the regular season plus the entire playoffs. Still plenty of football to go. Plenty of winning left to do, just like Trenton did last week, going 7-0. He has been hitting the prop bets. He has been hitting the bets pretty hard. I know he's killing it out there. So nice work there. Trent, thank you all for being here. Hit that like button if you would. Share if you would on your social. Share with your friends. Anybody you know that plays some DFS on Fanduel, even if they only play on DraftKings, whatever, hit them up. We can talk a little bit here and there. I'll definitely answer questions if anybody ever has questions about DraftKings. But mostly we sit here and we talk through our FanDuel. All right, let's jump in. We got a quick question, man. I'll just start I'll start the show with this because that's actually, it's a question I think a lot of people are thinking. And the question is your thoughts on Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper stack with the Dameon Pierce bring back. Here's my thing. On FanDuel, Nick Chubb is really expensive. And we'll talk a little bit about him in a smash spot. Deshaun Watson, we haven't seen him on a professional field in a game that matters in nearly 2 years, nearly 2 calendar years. We have not seen this guy. So do you want to be ahead of the game and just go for it and see what happens? You're going to get him at super low owned. So it's hard to say don't do it because really anytime somebody's going to be that low owned and that overlooked, you kind of want to go after it, right? In that case, I can't say don't play it. But I don't think I'm going to play this type of a stack with Nick Chubb and Deshaun Watson and Amari Cooper. There are some running backs that I'll play with quarterbacks. Nick Chubb's not a pass catching running back. So you can't double dip in a screen pass that goes 40 yards. I mean, obviously you could in a nutshell, but it's not necessarily going to happen often, right? So that's why I'm going to try to avoid something like that. Also, the Dameon Pierce bring back. Dameon Pierce, the chalk of the week. I can't play Dameon Pierce. He's not a good running back. He gets all the volume. He's not a good running back. He has no ceiling. He's just cheap. That's all. He's cheap with volume. That's why people play. What's up, Austin? How we doing tonight? Where are you going to go this week? Let's just jump on in here. Why don't we just jump on in the quarterbacks, right? Get into it so we can get some more lineups built at the end. Where y'all going with quarterback this week? It's super flat. I wasn't kidding in the intro. It's super flat when we look at ownership this week. Mahomes, 9,000. Jalen Hurts, 8,800. Joe Burrow, 8,300. Lamar at 8,200. I talked a little bit about him last week and how I'm always worried about a ceiling, and he can get there, but when does he get there, right? Justin Herbert, 8,100. All these top-tier quarterbacks They're all sitting between 8 and 12% rostered right now. That's what they're projecting. 8 and 12%. They're all there. There's no 20% or 18% guy. And there's 5 guys at the top. There's another guy too I'm going to talk about here, but there's 5 guys at the top of the salary. That's 8 to 12%. It's very flat with ownership right now. Are you going to go with a safer guy here? One of these guys feels safe, or do you want to go with the cheaper guy that's less owned? Do you want to go with a cheaper guy that's less owned? Cheaper guy like Mike White, right? Mike White, Garrett Wilson, bring it back with JJ. That was a decent stack last week. Do you want to go there this week? I don't think Mike White's out of the picture to play this week, especially if you're really trying to jam some of these high-priced wide receivers that we have going on. I turn my camera off or my light off. Ooh. I need to be professional and get like a big light. You all know what I'm talking about. Trevor Lawrence, I'm about to talk about him here in a minute. He is the chalk of quarterbacks, but again, it's not that much. He's sitting at 12%. He's just the highest projected rostership of all these guys, but they're all right together. Another low-owned, cheaper guy, Tua, 7,800. You can save $300 off Justin Herbert. I love that game. I love the Dolphins 49ers game this week. I love the Dolphins passing game. Everybody thinks about the 49ers. They think about this great defense, and don't get me wrong, they do have a great defense, but they can be beat in the secondary. Look at what the Chiefs did a couple weeks ago, right? And this Dolphins offense has the potential to get to where the Chiefs offense is. I 100% agree. I believe that. Fully believe that. Right? Tua's not going to be Patrick Mahomes, but Tua's got a great deep ball. And Tyreek loves to run the deep routes, right? So I really, really like this game, especially through the Miami passing attack. And Tua's coming in low owned. Could be a nice option there. Another guy, Jared Goff, 6,800, cheap and low owned. He could be a fun guy to stack on the opposite side of Jacksonville. Everybody's going to go Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, that double stack. What if you go Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, like a skinny stack and bring back a Zay Jones or Christian Kirk? Something like that. Obviously, we talked about Trevor Lawrence a little bit already. This is the game. This is where everybody's going to go. He will be the most owned quarterback. He's super cheap double stacking with Zay Jones and Christian Kirk. They're all 3 really good prices. And then you bring back an $8,000 Amon-Ra St. Brown, and that's what everybody's going to do, though. Can we do that? If everyone else is going to do that, can we do that? My answer is no. Like, we can't just do what everybody else is going to do unless we get really different elsewhere, right? Unless you run that stack and then you pay up for a Nick Chubb at the very top of the running backs salaries. Otherwise, you got to get really weird elsewhere. That's why I'm worried about double stacking Trevor Lawrence. It's going to be highly owned, and plus, can we really trust the Jaguars yet? They're not necessarily putting up 35 points a game, right? But it's in Detroit. I've heard multiple times this week on multiple podcasts, everybody is touting Detroit Ford Field as the Coors Field of NFL, right? That's where all the points are scored is there in the dome. And so be it. Maybe it is. And maybe that's what happens this week, but everybody else is going to be doing that too. So you have to get different somewhere else. The last quarterback I want to mention here, before I get to your question here, Trent, Justin Fields, $8,500. This guy was not necessarily in my player pool. He wasn't a guy in some of these quarterbacks. I mean, honestly, I'm probably not going to play Lamar this week, so go ahead and put him in there. I don't know. Justin Herbert won me a little money last week, but I'm worried about him still. And I might not play Joe Burrow either. Not that I don't love that game. I just don't know if Joe Burrow would, at 8,300, if that game goes berserk, does he really outscore Patrick Mahomes at 9,000? Like, there's not enough difference there to not just play Patrick Mahomes. Anyways, Justin Fields at 8,500, right in the middle of that group. 2 straight practices, Thursday and Friday, full practices. It looks like he's actually going to be playing this week, something that I've said 2 weeks in a row on ADP, our season-long fantasy podcast, that I don't think he needs to play any more this year, but it looks like he's going to give it a go. Packers defense is garbage. Jalen Hurts put up 150 yards on the ground against this team. Justin Fields runs more than Jalen Hurts. I'm not sure. I don't know if he's going to run that much because of the injury this week, but he's going to come in super low owned. Nobody's going to play him. You could almost play him naked this week. Just bank on some of that rushing to get to the ceiling and then kind of stack up other games elsewhere. Kind of be a little bit way to be different from some of these 8 to 12% owned quarterbacks. Just looking for ways to be different. Deshaun Watson, 8K, Trent. 8K on Fanduel. Not ideal. Pull it up here for you. Sitting right here, 8K on Fanduel. You know, you can stack him for sure. It's not going to break your bank, but it's not necessarily somewhere I want to go this week. And I'm only playing 5 total lineups each week, right? So I don't really necessarily have the ability to get super weird. If you're playing a ton of lineups, yeah, let's throw them in there. But I'm only playing one lineup, and I can't trust Deshaun Watson. All right, running backs this week. You guys got any running backs you like? Anybody you want to talk about specifically? How's the game going? I had to turn off the USC Utah game. I'm not sure my internet actually. I've got a TV here, but I'm not sure my internet would actually hold up to streaming a football game as well as live streaming. So let me know though. How's the football game going? I know it was 14-3 when I turned it off earlier before I came down to prep. Favorite running backs. Let's start with the cash game running backs this week. I think it'll help us really understand where the ownership is starting to fall for week 13. And the first one is $6,500 Dameon Pierce. We mentioned his name up at the top of the show. Cleveland's defense is terrible, so I completely understand why he's going to be the chalk. Super cheap, bottom 5 run defense. I can't click his name. And maybe that's wrong of me. Maybe that's maybe that's just bad process. But to me, Dameon Pierce never gets there. He doesn't get to where we need him to get to in order to win us the tournament. He's a great cash game player because you throw him in there, you save a lot of money, and you get the 2x. I don't want a 2x. I want to find a running back that can 4x for me, right? Can he get to 25 points? I'm not sure he can get 25 points. So that's my take on Dameon Pierce. 10-17 USC. Whew. I need to slow down a little bit on that scoring for our 62.5 point under to hit. $7,000 David Montgomery, right? We talked about the Packers just a moment ago. They're terrible. Jalen Hurts ran for 150. Miles Sanders looked really good. Anytime you make Miles Sanders look good, you know you're not a good defense. David Montgomery's workload has increased quite significantly since Khalil Herbert has gone to the IR. Fields will be back. He could open up some lanes. Even if Fields is not running as much, it'll still open up those lanes just a little bit more because of the fear of the quarterback run. And this defense is very, very soft. I'm looking for Monty to get, 25 carries somewhere in there. He actually has lowered since I did some research earlier. I was looking again before, and he's actually started to lower on his ownership. So maybe Fields coming into play has dropped his projected ownership a little bit. Out of these two guys, though, I also don't like David Montgomery. I don't play David Montgomery. He's called Mopportunity for a reason. He comes in, he gets a touchdown here and there. I don't like him, right? He can't be trusted. But if I had to pick between Montgomery or Dameon Pierce, I'm paying the extra $500. I'm taking David Montgomery in that play. 67.5, excuse me. I got something down for 62.5. ETN is going to be the play. I'm here for this. I'm here for this. 8K on FanDuel. Right now, his projections were kind of low because they weren't certain of his play, if he was going to play. That actually helps us with ownership, right? If everybody's going to attack this game through Trevor Lawrence, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Amon-Ra St. Brown, come back in with a Jamal Williams. Sneak DeAndre Swift back in there. Maybe you want to go back to that. Play Travis Etienne. Some of these running backs can get there this week, and Etienne's a really sharp play. Another guy, I talked about not playing Montgomery and Pierce, another guy I don't really ever play. Wish he would have played him last week, right? We all do at this point in time after he put up nearly, oh man, I know he put up a 50 burger and on DraftKings. Did he get to 50 on FanDuel here? 45. That's a lot of points for FanDuel. 45 points last week, and that's $9,500 Josh Jacobs, as you saw on the screen. Projecting really well again this week. Again, though, he's just not somebody I can play. I just don't play this guy. Maybe it's another miss, but I'm not going to go back this week, especially not 9,500. No, thank you. But I want to talk about him because he is projecting well. $100 more than Josh Jacobs is Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb's in a smash spot. Deshaun Watson coming back. Why wouldn't Cleveland just hand the ball off 30 times and just play smash mouth football against this really, really bad Houston defense and just get out of town? You don't have to play into all these narratives and try to get Watson 3-4 touchdowns against his old team when it's the first game back. I don't buy into all that. Just hand the ball off a couple times and let Nick Chubb do the work for you. I could see that happening quite a bit. The only problem for me, though, this week, $9,600 is a lot of money to spend, right? He's going to need almost that 45-pointer because he's taking so much salary away from the other positions that you can hit. You really need to get that 30-point game out of him this week. He has the opportunity to, but the percentage of him getting there is quite low, and I'm not sure he's going to be actually worth the $9,600. Austin Eckler's in a really good spot against a bad Vegas defense. He's the guy. If I'm going to spend this much money on a running back and, get into the 9K range, Austin Eckler would be that guy. He catches passes out of the backfield. The Raiders are like bottom 5 in giving it up to pass catching running backs. So Austin Eckler, he's in a great spot. He's in a great spot this week. If you want to get off some of these elite wide receivers, maybe you can go Austin Eckler. I probably won't do it too much because I really like $9,000 Tyreek Hill. So, and I'm not going to be able to get both of them in there, I don't think. But I might I'll sprinkle a little bit of a Austin Eckler, Devontae Adams mini stack. It's going to cost you a lot of money, but maybe you're playing one of these cheaper quarterbacks that we talked about, so you can get up to an Austin Eckler, Devontae Adams mini stack. My favorite running back play on the slate, we'll finally get to it. Aaron Jones, 7,400. Again, this guy has flipped the script with Montgomery. He was looking like 6th or 7th in projected ownership. He has jumped up to 2nd in projected ownership. I'm not sure if it's because of the news around Aaron Rodgers has gotten people excited again about him, but this is chalk that I'm willing to eat. 7,400 is very, very palatable in price. And this is a guy that I'm absolutely willing to eat the chalk with because he catches passes. It's a bad Bears defense. The Packers are going to bring some pride and just essentially, I assume they're going to just make the Bears eat it, right? And they're going to do that through Aaron Jones and probably A.J. Dillon. Probably $6,900 A.J. Dillon, right? I mean, if I need to save $500, no one's going to play A.J. Dillon. No one's going to play A.J. Dillon. So if you need the $500, go to him. Dillon, 40% of the work last week. that's enough to hit pay dirt a time or two. I think he's a great GPP play. One that nobody's going to go after because he's not getting all the work. Everybody wants the volume. They need the workload. And I understand that. I agree with it most times. But A.J. Dillon, he can do it on 15 carries. We've seen it before. He can pay off a $6,900 price tag. What about Derrick Henry? It's December, baby. It's time for the Yeti to get out. This is a guy I over the years, I've rarely ever played Derrick Henry. I played him in cash when I played a lot more cash. But I've rarely played him over the years, and I think most of it's just because he is so hit and miss. And I played him last week. And, of course, the week I play him, he gets the 70-yard screen. He's taking it to the house, and he fumbles on the 1-yard line for Treylon Burks to pick it up. Even if he just goes down on the 1-yard line, maybe he can just punch it in the next play. But no, he fumbles it into the end zone. Killed me in my main build, which had him and then a Patrick Mahomes double stack. It didn't end up working out. But I really liked Derrick Henry last week, and I'm willing to go back to him this week against an Eagles defense that we might think they're good because of their record, but the Eagles run defense has actually been pretty bad. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, Dameon Pierce destroyed them. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon had great games last week. This Eagles run defense can be had. I know Jordan Davis is going to be back this week, so that'll help them. But this Eagles run defense is not great, and it's Derrick Henry, and it's December. It's time for him to go. I want to talk about 2 pump plays real fast. Zonovan Knight and Kyron Williams. They're super cheap. A lot of people are going to try to chase the Zonovan Knight thing from last week. Kyron Williams is getting more and more snaps there in Los Angeles. I'm just not chasing this. I don't think we need that type of salary relief in this week. So not necessarily somebody I'm going to chase. Plus the Jets have like 3 or 4 running backs now. So it's not necessarily something I'm really into. He had a great game in relief last week. If you don't know, Zonovan Knight is one of the Jets backups. Michael Carter gets hurt. Zonovan Knight comes in. So, again, just not a guy I'm chasing. Not a guy I'm chasing. All right, let's talk wide receiver. Anything else on running back? I don't see anything in here on running back, right? What about wide receiver? Who's your favorite wide receiver for week 13? Who are you looking at? You guys already know me. I love Tyreek Hill this week. There's like 12 guys we can be playing this week, and we can play comfortably. There's a lot of options at wide receiver this week. That's not going to help you, right? I can't come on a show and say, hey, y'all, there's 12 tight ends or 12 wide receivers. Here's a list of them. Good luck. It'll make my life easier. No, I think it ultimately comes down for the way that you're going to build, right? Let's pull them up. How are you going to build this week? That's going to be your main goal. That's how you're going to know what wide receivers you're going to want to play. To me, it starts right here with Tyreek Hill. If I can get Tyreek Hill, just place him on my flex, start most of my lineups just like this, I like that a lot. I like it a lot for a couple reasons. One, look at all these afternoon games we've got. Chargers, Raiders can go off. They got bad defenses, and their offenses are competent enough. Bengals, Chiefs, obviously the highest total on the slate. Seattle can go off against this Rams. This Rams team is done for, right? They're packing it in. They're ready for next year already. And then you got the Miami-San Francisco game that I like a whole lot this week. So I'm just going to – I like to start. I'm not going to start every single lineup like this, but I like to start right here because that allows me to now, if I need to do anything later, if I need to go and do a late swap off of Tyreek Hill, you can get down to T or AJ or Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams. Like there's so much options if you start your flex with Tyreek Hill. The afternoon hammer, this is my favorite one. I don't know. We'll see how some of these projected ownerships work out because I don't know if anybody's going to play this Miami San Francisco game like I would like it to play it. So if it stays really low owned, it's going to be my afternoon hammer, right? Tua, I talked about him earlier, really good downfield. 49ers really bad with the deep ball. McDaniels likes to throw the ball a lot, so give me some Tyreek Hill this week. Devontae Adams at 8,600. It kind of feels like each and every week it's either Devontae Adams or it's Josh Jacobs, right? And sometimes it's both. But Devontae Adams against the Chargers are usually more of a run funnel type defense, but he's going to be really, really chalky this week. So if you just need to hang on, you could kind of go with a guy like Adams if you need to save $400 off of Tyreek Hill, another guy up there. Garrett Wilson, baby. That's what I'm about to talk about right now. $6,600. Super cheap. Best play on the slate. Best wide receiver play on the slate, especially in terms of value. He might not have the ceiling that a Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams has, but that's why they're priced $2,000 more than him, right? $6,600, man. Again, almost like just put him in my lineup. Last week, man, I was tilting so hard. One of my last lineups I built, I was sitting at 6,100 or 6,300, somewhere in there. And I was looking at Drake London, who was projecting well without Kyle Pitts, and Garrett Wilson. But Garrett Wilson's got Mike White. Yeah, silly me. Should have went with Garrett Wilson. I was kicking myself very early in that Jets game because you could just see it happening. So this week, though, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, little mini stack there. Absolutely love that stack. Second favorite stack of the week. Christian Kirk here. Absolutely. We're talking about these wide receivers in this Detroit-Jacksonville game. All of them are absolutely playable. The only thing I'm worried about is how chalky they're going to be. Everybody wants to play these guys. They're super cheap. Detroit is terrible against slot wide receivers. Christian Kirk should truly have a great game. I'm not sure if I can play these guys in mini stacks. Maybe like a St. Brown, Christian Kirk mini stack makes sense. But again, the total ownership that's going to bring to your lineup hurts. And we don't need to get super weird, right? I'm playing single entry, small field tournament, so I can eat some chalk. That's not the problem. It's just if I'm not going to play the quarterbacks, do I really expect the wide receivers to go off and the quarterbacks, how cheap they are, not being willing to play? So I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking through this game. If I am going to stack this game, I would do the T-Law to Kirk to Jones with the St. Brown. Bring back that chalk one I talked about earlier. Everybody's going to do it, but I would do that, and I would just try to get weird different places, right? I'm not playing Jared Goff probably with a St. Brown or something like that. And I said on the Turkey Day show last week that St. Brown never gets there. You're welcome if you played him because he got there. But he usually never gets there. And to go right back to that well, I'm not sure if I'm ready to jump on board yet. And maybe this game goes off for 50-some points. Everybody's going to have it. I might just say, okay, good game. I'll see you next week. And I might try to fade this game a little bit. It's just going to be, everybody's going to be playing this game. So I haven't quite got there yet. I'm not giving you advice to fade the game. I'm just telling you right now, my thought process is I don't know what I'm going to do with this game yet. And fading the game is not out of the question yet. Fading the game is not out of the question yet. Let's talk about the Bengals and Chiefs, though. We're talking wide receivers right now, right? Highest total on the slate. Both teams are pretty targeted with their volume, especially if Jamar Chase is going to be healthy for the Bengals. And I think it's easy from the Bengals side of things. You play Jamar Chase, you play T. Higgins. If Jamar Chase isn't hurt, you play Tyler Boyd. It's that easy to me. If Jamar Chase doesn't play, you play Hayden Hurst at tight end. But if Jamar Chase plays, play Jamar Chase. Coming off an injury, a lot of people won't play him because he's coming off that injury. He's still not even certain he's going to play yet. And that helps keep that ownership down. But for me, I've watched Jamar Chase play the Chiefs. I've watched him manhandle these cornerbacks over and over again. I've watched Spags freaking send the zero blitz and keep these guys out on the island like we've got Darrelle Revis at cornerback, and it never works. We've seen it 2 times already. He does this when the Chiefs play really good offenses. He does this blitzing thing, and he leaves. That's why the Chiefs are so bad against number 1 wide receivers, because they leave him on an island. They're going to do the same thing this week. You can't. He's done it too many times. He's not going to change this week. So if Jamar Chase plays, put him in your lineup. $7,900. He's not $7,900. $8,900. He's playable. He's playable. And I want to play him. They're expensive, but I want to play him. On the other side for the Chiefs, guys, Sky Moore is about to break out. Sky Moore is about to break out. As long as he doesn't have to catch passes anymore, Sky Moore is about to break out. 40% of the snaps last week. Second time in a row he's played over 40%. 2 straight weeks, this cat has led the wide receivers in targets. 2 straight weeks. Juju was not 100% last week. It was clear, right? He barely got out there. I think he played 40% of the snaps. Another week back, he's at $6,900. I think he's going to go way overlooked. I think people are going to box score look and see the game logs and see he did bad last week and not play him. If you don't want to go heavy in this game, I like a Juju T. Higgins or Juju Jamar Chase mini stack, because Juju's still going to get it, right? Sky Moore, though, is my favorite wide receiver play for Kansas City. Remember last week, they threw a screen to him that went 25, 30 yards, but Justin Watson held. The hold didn't have anything to do with the screen pass. This guy is getting the ball and getting the ball often for the Chiefs. If Chase ever gets a judge that calls a push-off, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Also, I love that you call it a judge, because that's what it is. In layman's terms, it actually is the field judge. Most people just call it a ref, though. So nice terminology. Kadarius Toney out again. Kadarius Toney can't stay healthy. Kadarius Toney does not have hamstrings, apparently. So he's out again. And Sky Moore should find a lineup or 2 for you this week. He'll definitely find one of mine. Anything else with wide receivers? These Bengals guys look super low owned, which I don't really understand. I don't understand why they're projecting that way. I wonder if it's just the uncertainty of Jamar Chase. It could be. Let's move on to tight ends. After we do tight ends, we'll hit up some defense. Then we'll build some lineups. Thank you all for being here. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We're on Stadium Rant YouTube channel now. We're on the Rumbles of Red YouTube channel all at the same time. Appreciate you all being here. Jump in the chat. Have some fun with us. We're going to talk some tight ends here. My absolute favorite tight end, if you haven't seen the thumbnail yet this week, the cover boy George Kittle. 6,200 on Fanduel. Fourth highest tight end. 6,200 on Fanduel. I've already talked about this game a couple times. I love him as a Niners bringback. You're going to stack it up. Double stack Tua. You bring George Kittle back. You might say, why not Debo? Why not Christian McCaffrey? Mainly, not that those guys are out of play. Debo always projects well on FanDuel, just the way he plays. But he hasn't been that volume guy he's been in the past since Christian McCaffrey's come back and come to 49ers. And Christian McCaffrey's dealing with a slight knee issue. Not something I'm overly concerned about, but maybe he doesn't get all the carries. And this Miami defensive backfield is terrible. It's actually kind of eerie how similar these two teams are, knowing the whole Mike McDaniel, Kyle Shanahan thing, but they're both both teams have a lot of weapons on offense, and both teams are really bad in the back end of their defense. Give me some George Kittle. Even if you don't want to go big on this game, right? Maybe you don't want to play. I don't. I have no interest in playing Jimmy Garoppolo. But if you don't want to play Tua, maybe you don't trust him, whatever, play a mini stack with George. You could mini stack this game all over the place, honestly. I want to get a piece of the game. Tyreek Hill, George Kittle, Jalen Waddle and Debo, or Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk's in play, Jawan Jennings is in play. All these guys are in play in this game. Harrison Bryant, absolutely. David Njoku ruled out this week. Harrison Bryant way down here. Check that. We got to scroll a little ways here, guys. Scroll in the wrong place. I mean, under Noah Fant, less than Tyler Conklin and Austin Hooper, Logan Thomas. Harrison Bryant is way down here at 4,700. If you remember just a couple weeks ago, David Njoku was out. I'll take 9 and 6. I'll take a 9-point game. That's double his salary. Nearly double his salary. We can take that from a Harrison Bryant, right? 4,700. Especially if I'm trying to jam like 3 or 4 of these really high price wide receivers. I think Harrison Bryant is a good play. You can play him by himself. Like, you don't necessarily even have to stack that kind of a tight end. He's so cheap. You don't have to stack him. You don't have to put him in a mini stack or put him with Deshaun Watson. Just play him and save the salaries if you want to, right? Play him and save the salaries. Hawkinson has been elite since moving over to Minnesota. Super involved with its offense. Looks great. This Minnesota game could be sneaky. Could be sneaky, right? Minnesota's defense is bad. Minnesota's defense is bad enough that the Jets could probably put up a little bit of points and push Kirk Cousins. Plus, Kirky gets to play at noon. So, he loves that. He loves a good midday game. So, yeah, definitely don't hate a TJ Hawkinson. Foster Moreau's been a guy that I've gone to quite often. I actually talked about him on Another Damn Fantasy podcast this week as my streaming tight end of the week for season long, because the Chargers are terrible against the tight end. Now, they had an outlier game with Travis Kelce, and Foster Moreau's no Travis Kelce, obviously, but Foster Moreau has been very, very usable since Darren Waller's been out. And his price is still relatively good. He's still down at 5,500. So that's definitely a playable tight end if you're not gonna pay up. If you're not gonna pay up for tight ends. So I like him a lot. I really don't like guys like Pat Freiermuth. He's gonna project pretty well, but at 5,900, it's a weird salary spot he's in. Hayden Hurst, if Jamar Chase doesn't play, I like him against the Chiefs. So there's some other guys. There's plenty of tight ends to be able to play. Travis Kelce, obviously the best of the best. 8,400, though. It's going to be really, really tough to play him this week. I don't mind playing, of course, as everybody knows, I don't mind playing a Mahomes double stack. I've kind of been playing that about every week. Mahomes, Sky Moore, Travis Kelce. Bring back maybe a cheaper guy like a Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins, who's about $700 cheaper than Jamar Chase. Go something like that. Really like that a lot. Allows you to get Travis Kelce in there. I wouldn't play Travis Kelce, just play Travis Kelce. Most of the time, if you're playing Travis Kelce, you're going to want either Patrick Mahomes or a mini stack. So Kelce, Higgins, mini stack, something like that. Mark Andrews, if I'm playing Lamar, I'll play Mark Andrews. Other than that, I'm not playing Mark Andrews. I don't know what it is about this Baltimore offense. They're going to explode this week because I'm completely off of them. And that's how this works, right? But who are they playing? The Broncos? Disgusting. Disgusting. 1 o'clock Kirk is the best Kirk. Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All right, anything else on tight ends? We'll move on to defense. For me, it's either the Commanders at 4,100 or the Giants at 4,000. This game, I'll take either one of these defenses. I like this 4K range for defense. Usually they're coming in a lot lower owned. People are like, oh, I'm going to pay up for the best of the best defense, or I'm just going to punt it off at 3,000, 3,100, whatever. So trying to get in this middle range at defense has done some good for me a little bit here this year. And this is a game that both of these teams' offenses are pretty turnover prone. So I don't mind trying to take stabs at both of those. If you want to go super cheap, punt it off, $3,100 Las Vegas Raiders. This Chargers offense has actually been kind of bad this year. They're like 25th in total offense. So they obviously have upside. They still have Justin Herbert. We love Justin Herbert in terms of fantasy, but no Mike Williams again this week. So this game could just get gross. Divisional game, divisional matchup. It could just get gross. Steelers defense has to be a steal this week. I see what you did there. Falcons run the ball. Steelers stop the run. Steelers have 8 sacks in 7 games without TJ Watt. 4 and 14, 14 and 4 with him. Those are great stats. I think my only problem, and I'm going to pull it up. I should already have this up. To me, I think my only problem, I think if I remember right, the Steelers are pretty chalky, which honestly for defense, there's not enough difference for them that I just would rather just never play the chalk defense. I'm going to pull it up here just to double check myself before I say that. Oh, no, actually they're not. So maybe I was looking at something or maybe it got changed a lot. So $4,200. I just talked about this 4K range. Actually coming in quite low owned. So yeah, I'm down for that. I don't mind a low owned defense. That's what we're looking for, right? So TJ Watt is back, his second game back, I believe now. So all right, I'm down for that. That's why we do this, baby. That's why we do this. We're helping each other out. You guys are bringing up guys I haven't really even thought of. Now I'm like, okay, let's play them. Yeah, they're bottom end. You're right. You're right. I misread it. All right, quickly on my stacks. I talked about this one quite often. We're going to build one right now. Tua to Tyreek Hill and a George Kittle bring back. So instead of doing a double stack with Tua, go on skinny stack. Save us a little bit of salary with that. Jalen Waddle is pretty expensive still. My second favorite stack is a Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson mini stack, which I talked about earlier. And then, of course, I already mentioned the Mahomes to Kelsey to Moore and Chase bring back as my third favorite stack. What's your favorite stack? It could be a game stack. It could be a mini stack. Secondary stack, so you put your running back and defense together. I want to see your favorite stacks. Come on, hit me up in the comments here. Who are your favorite stacks this week? What is one favorite stack? I'll use, if it comes through in the chat, I'll use it in a lineup build. Bring it into the chat. I'll use it in the lineup build. I got to figure out how to get my screen larger. I think this screen can get larger. I need to figure that out. All right, let's get rocking here. Let's build some lineups. I'm going to start with my Dolphins stack that I really like. I don't know why Tua is not, and maybe it'll change by Sunday. But right now, he is not being steamed up at all. Not at all. So here's my favorite stack of the week right here. This is how I want to start. Probably my main lineup right here, just like this. Just like this. So now where do we go from here? right? I don't necessarily want to put anything else in this. We could go overshoot this game if we wanted to. I don't really want to go anywhere else here in this game. So let's just throw those Steelers defense in that we just talked about actually. $4,200 Steelers defense. I don't think we can get the Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson mini stack in, although we can try. Pretty expensive. It's pretty expensive. We could do, there is a one super cheap running back that I don't mind. If he plays, man, he might not play. I was gonna say Jerick McKinnon. But he might not play. So we're gonna play this Dolphins game. That's gonna be the one shootout. So if we're doing that, then we're gonna say essentially this game is a better environment than the Chiefs and Bengals game is, right? But there's still gonna be points in the Chiefs Bengals game. How are we gonna get there? That could come from a guy like Pacheco. 7,000 though. He's kind of expensive. Let's move Tyreek down here to flex. Let's see what we got here. We're sitting at 5,800. So I don't know if we can get this Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson stack in here. I'm not sure we can do that. Just because there's not a lot of options down here this low. Not a lot. I mean, we can go the chalk route of Kyron Williams, but I already told you guys I don't really want to chase those guys, right? I'm not really trying to chase that. And even if you put a Zonovan Knight in there, that's the chalk, right? But now you're already going in that game. I don't like that whatsoever. Let's see what we got for cheap wide receivers. We're going to have to go really cheap here. Try to save us a little bit of salary. Save us a little bit of salary here. Let's go. Let's check out some projections from ETR. Anyone super cheap projecting well? Doesn't really look like it. $5,600 Richie James. That would save us a little bit of cash. Oh, actually, I like this. DJ Chark. In that morning game that we talked about, going DJ Chark, kind of just leveraging the Amon-Ra St. Brown. Do you guys like that? Do you like DJ Chark? 5,300. He saves us a ton. Now we can get into a decent range at running back, and it keeps us. Justin Jefferson gives us the ceiling. Garrett Wilson gives us the ceiling. We got to save money somewhere. In this build, we're not looking for DJ Chark to go off, right? We're looking for 10 points, 12 points, double up your salary. So then we can utilize the Justin Jeffersons and Tyreeks of the world. One guy down here I like is Brian Robinson, 6,600. Don't mind him. Man, that makes it pretty tight, though. It really, truly would be chasing Kyron. Okay, well, I hate this, so I'm going to take out Justin Jefferson and Garrett Wilson stack. We just can't get there. We can't get there with this stack, so we're going to get out of that. Actually, let's do one more thing. Before I do that, let's do this. Let's go back to that real fast. Not Jeff Wilson. Come on now. I don't mind Brian Robinson. Antonio Gibson didn't practice this week, so a little bit this week. So he might miss the game on Sunday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get rid of the Steelers defense, and I'm just going to punt. Because if we punt defense, that gives us the opportunity. So now we're playing with 6,000. Now if we want to get a weird one-off, like a DJ Chark, we can. And now we have 6,700 to play with at running back. Much more palatable. Gus Edwards is good. Damian Pierce, that chalk right there that we've been talking about a little bit. What do you guys think here? Maybe Zonovan Knight. What if we just go with the chalk? What if we just throw Zonovan Knight in there? And instead of playing a chalk, we throw Zonovan Knight in there. Eat the chalk. Live to die another day. Play Traylon Burks. I don't love this. I don't love this lineup. I got to be honest. I'm not sure we can get the Justin Jefferson and Tyreek in there. I would love to, but I hate the running back. So we end up like Zonovan Knight. I just don't want to play that. So, but it's one way you can build around that type of lineup, right? So let's check here. All right, Lawrence, Kirk, Jones, Lion. Jags defense, not Lions. Okay. So we're going to go a Trevor Lawrence stack. We've talked about this stack a couple times already. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones. So if we're going to go here, we got to have a bring back. If we're going to double stack, we don't have to, I guess. You don't have to have a bring back. But if you're going to go Lawrence and Kirk, it kind of feels like and Jones, you're kind of expecting this game to go off. So you're going to want to bring back. Do you have a bring back for this one? Do you just want to run Amon-Ra St. Brown? Or are you just going to say, oh, actually, I'm sorry. You want the Jags defense with this. So you're just going to say, screw the bring back. Maybe Jacksonville goes out and wins this game 30-10. Right? If you're going to bring the bring back, I mean, we can put them in there because you put it in the chat. And I said, if you want to put it in the chat, I'll play it. Let's put St. Brown here. I don't know if I play the Jags defense in this case, if I'm going to do that. But we'll play it. Let's look at it. Let's check it out. It's still Jared Goff. St. Brown can get there, and Jared Goff can still throw a pick six all in the same game, right? Super cheap. Look at this. This is why this is going to be such a popular stack, guys. We were just trying to build a lineup with like $5,700 left. Now we're playing with nearly 1,000 more than that. All right, super chalky here. So how do we get different? How do we get different here? Pacheco would be different. We could do a Pacheco Higgins correlation. Something like that. Nick Chubb is way different. Nobody's playing Nick Chubb. We talked about that earlier, but he's so expensive. So expensive. I really like AJ Dillon. Let's put AJ Dillon in here. I don't like playing against my own D, but at melee. Yeah. Again, it's going to be different than nobody else is going to build like this. So there's nothing wrong with that. $6,600. Again, let's take a look here. Let's go tight end. Let's get our tight end in here. One tight end I talked about earlier that you could play that you don't have to have anything else in it is Harrison Bryant. Super cheap. Ooh, look at that salary we've got now. Now, if we play Derrick Henry, okay, hear me out. This is going to be an all 1 p.m. lineup. We can't do that. All right. Screw Derrick Henry this time. Sorry, y'all. Let's get an we got to get an afternoon mini stack in this thing. $7,500 afternoon mini stack. Where can we go? Where can we go? Will Pacheco and Higgins fit? No, they will not. No, they will not. Juju and Higgins. Nope. Sure. Well, I can't play Juju. I got to play running back. Running back. All right. What about a McCaffrey? What's Waddle? What's Waddle? 79. Ouch. 79. There's not really any cheap running backs in the afternoon, is there? Nobody really to go to, anyways. We could play that Jerick McKinnon. Not that we need to. Oh, let's just throw him Pacheco here. And it's not going to be a mini stack. We just play oh man, I like DK Metcalf, guys. I know he's going against the Rams, but man, the Rams are packing it in. This could be their chance. I don't want Keenan Allen. I'd actually probably play Jalen Waddle out of all these guys left here. So that's just another way. That's the way you can do that. Pacheco, 7,000 kind of feels a lot for me for Pacheco. All right, hear me out. Watson, Chubb, Cooper, Browns defense. So you're just saying, here we go, baby. Let's load it up against the Houston Texans. We're playing Deshaun Watson revenge game. They're just going to kick the snot out of. I knew as soon as I touched my computer, it was going to screw it up. I've got some new equipment coming next week, so hopefully I don't have to deal with this mic issue anymore. All right, Cleveland defense, baby. Let's go. So they're just going to kick this, and look how expensive this is. Look how expensive it is. All right, in this build, we can eat some chalk. So let's eat it. Wilson. Oh, we threw the defense in there. We could have took the defense out and just played Bryant. Let's get Foster Moreau in here. Cheap tight end route we like on stream tonight. Some more cheap wide receivers. DeMarcus Robinson's not bad. Juwan Jennings. We like Juwan Jennings. I talked about him a little bit earlier. Richie James is projecting well. Although I'd rather him be there. Can't have that. 6,100 at running back. We could fit it. Mostert against the old 49ers. Now let's just throw in the we can play the chalk, guys. Gives me 6,100 though. Maybe see if I get somebody better than Juwan Jennings in the afternoon. Ooh, Traylon Burks, baby. Gosh. If you haven't found out, I'm really liking this Traylon Burks guy. Actually, don't mind MVS either. Juwan Jennings. Is there a 5,900 guy? Oh, I can play MVS instead of Richie James. Look at that. Why don't we do that? There we go. Like butter. Spread the wealth, baby. I don't know. I mean, I'm hearing you out. I'm putting it in here, but it feels thin. It feels thin now. However, a Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Mac Hollins last week was the nuts. That's the team you needed with no bring back. So 4 guys on a team is not out of the realm of possibility. All right, let's do another one of these. This guys, everything we're talking about here is proving to me everybody wants to play Detroit, Jacksonville. I've got 2 different times we've got a stack on them already. Everybody wants to play these guys. But this is an entire lineup. Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Jamal Williams, Zay Jones, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 4 guys from the same game. 2 running backs from the same game. AJ Brown. I love AJ Brown this week. Sign me up for AJ Brown this week. Sign me up. The Eagles always project such low ownership. Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts. Let's do that. Let's build a Eagle stack. Let's build an Eagle stack because they always project so low. How about we don't build it with Jalen Hurts? How about we do this? The Eagles defense is bad. What if we do a AJ Brown and big dog Derrick Henry mini stack? Woo-hoo. Let's cook it. Why not? Right? Tennessee pounding the ball with Derrick Henry, while Philadelphia just throws it over the top because A.J. Brown has a vengeance against this Tennessee team. A rookie helps build this team to what it is today, and then as soon as he needs to get paid, they ship him out the door. This is the actual revenge narrative that everybody wants to play. Not Mike McDaniels, who chose to leave San Francisco, and Jeff Wilson, who gets traded from San Francisco to Miami to his old coach. Like, that's not revenge narrative. Those guys are all buddies. Those guys all love each other. A.J. Brown has a vengeance. This is the revenge game. Now, what game stacks do we put around it? Because it's going to have to be cheap. Gino will pop in all the optimals, probably. He's cheaper. You go back to Carr. Herbert. Let's just build this around a Detroit game. That's where we're going right back to. You know what? Let's build it around a Mike White team. Mike White's going to be cheap. Mike White, Garrett Wilson. Cheap. Maybe instead of expensive Justin Jefferson would be TJ Hawkinson back this time. And then let's go Seattle. Oh, man, they're way up there, huh? Let's go San Francisco. Let's say this game fails. Let's say this San Francisco game fails. Right? Maybe it does. I'm all in on it, but there's always opportunity for it to fail. Always a chance it might fail. Oh, baby, I would really like to get another high-priced wide receiver in there. But let's look at running backs. We could go David Montgomery in a really good – screw that. Let's put Aaron Jones in here. I love Aaron Jones this week. Let's go Aaron Jones. It gives us plenty of salary for an afternoon hammer mini. 5,700. I'm thinking 5,700. Told you earlier I really like Sky Moore, so let's throw him in there. Gives us 6,200. So maybe it's not a mini stack again. It's just I can get George Kittle and the San Francisco defense. Huh? Around this Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown mini stack, baby. We can afford to eat the chalk with Aaron Jones because we're playing an unknown Derrick Henry and an unknown A.J. Brown. Let's do it. All right, I have one more stack I'm going to build myself. If you guys want to see anything else, please put it in the chat. But we can't get out of here without my Patrick Mahomes, Sky Moore, Travis Kelce, Jamar Chase, bring back. This, my people, for all the money, I'm completely punting this one. I don't want anything to do with this. I'll probably punt them with the Las Vegas or Los Angeles. This is my afternoon hammer. I can get a little weird early on if I want to. Play this ETN game. Play this ETN Chark. Play a little mini stack there. I don't mind that. That's a little different from that super chalky first game. Super chalky first game. Get something in there like that. Pittsburgh, Atlanta, I don't really have interest in. Robinson's probably too much for this team. AJ Dillon's too much probably. I'm trying to think through just a cheap running back again. What if I actually play this Kyron Williams cat? What if I actually play him? It leaves us 6,300. Put Chase in the flex, obviously. Always put your most expensive guy in the flex. It leaves us 6,300. See what we got. Can we play a... Oh, crap. Thielen. George Kittle again. Play double tight end in the afternoon. Traylon Burks. Said earlier, I really like him. We keep ending up in this kind of same range, right? This same range that we don't necessarily love. But if I go down to Juan Jennings, I can get a little better at running back here. Not really, though. Let's go back to him. We can come up at defense. There we go. Get the Texans in there. Let's get the Broncos in there. They're fine. Or Miami. Against Juan Jennings, whatever. This is the stack I want. And I might not play Travis Etienne with this stack just because the stack costs so much. Throwing in an 8K Travis Etienne hurts quite a bit. We could take this out. And what if we just played the chalk running backs, right? What if we just said Aaron Jones, David Montgomery? It's probably still too much, isn't it, huh? David Montgomery or get off that. We go down to Brian Robinson, which I really like. I can't play Swift. No way. Fuck it. What if we put Dameon Pierce in there? The stupidest chalk of all time. Terrible chalk. What if we put Dameon Pierce in there? I think punt again on our defense with the Chargers. See, now we've got 6,700. So going down to those 6K running back, that allows us to get from Juan Jennings up to Brandon Ayuk, right? Which one do you like better? We could play chalk Garrett Wilson because nobody else is going to be like this stack is going to be so low owned that you could just run chalk Dameon Pierce, chalk Garrett Wilson, a weird DJ Chark, right? So that probably feels a lot better to me if I'm going to run this stack. Doing something like this feels a little better than the first one running out Travis Etienne at 8K. I don't like Dameon Pierce. But in this sense, I'm not looking for Pierce to get me the 30 points, right? I'm looking for Travis Kelce, Jamar Chase, Patrick Mahomes. If they can all hit that 25, 30-point mark, now I've got something rolling. Pierce is the only one you can play. Maybe he's going to be good chalk this week. Any other stacks you guys want to see out of me? I think I played all of my stacks this week. Last chance if you want any more. I will be playing, and you see it here. I played every week the 5K small route, hot route. It's a $50 enter. 1K up top. That's what we're chasing. 1K up top. Chasing it every week, trying to get there. One time, baby. That's all it takes. One time. All right, I have gone over time, so I am going to shut it down. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. I enjoyed every Friday night. Oh, goodness. Fine, I'll do one more. I hate it, but I'll do one more. All right, let's rock and roll this one. Let's do it quick. You're all about this, overshooting one team. Mariota, Patterson, London, Falcons. All right, that's super cheap. Super cheap. Since we're going so cheap, I'm putting Nick Chubb in this one. Put Nick Chubb in this one if we're gonna go this cheap. Because I wanna get a sprinkle of Chubb. We're also gonna put Tyreek Hill in the flex. We're gonna play Freiermuth as a bring back. Apparently I can't spell Freiermuth. And now we have a $6,200 mini correlation that we could play if we wanted to. What's Debo these times? 68. And a $5,700. Ooh, DeAndre Carter's more than that. What's Tyler Boyd? Ooh, 63. Even MVS I can't get to. Nobody there. I want to play. Nobody there. Let's see what else we got here. I don't have to play Debo, honestly. I don't think I can play Higgins. Can I play Boyd? Yeah, but not with Juju. Not with Juju. What about this game? We haven't played a lot of this game. Josh Palmer, Mac Hollins. I don't mind that, actually, right there. Marcus Mariota, Cordero Patterson, Drake London, and the Falcons defense gonna sneak a bring back in there with Pat Freiermuth. We don't have to, obviously, but we can. You could also do a quick Kittle and Hill. Now that I'm thinking about this, we could do Kittle. And Hill mini, and then come off of Chubb down to Austin Eckler, or even down to just to Derrick Henry again. But you play like Austin Eckler here, so now you've got maybe an Austin Eckler, Mac Hollins mini, and you play George Pickens at the bring back. Look at that! Look at that! Fits like a freaking charm, man. Put George Pickens in as the bring back. So you got a little Austin Eckler, Mac Hollins, mini stack in the afternoon, a little George Kittle, Tyreek Hill. Who's going to hit the ceilings here, though? Right? Is this saying that this Atlanta-Pittsburgh game is going to go nuts? However, Kenny Pickett's going to throw a couple interceptions to the Falcons and take some sacks too, right? That's kind of how this game goes nuts. Not a bad one, though. I don't play Marcus Mariota, but not a bad overall lineup. It was built really well. All right. I really am going to shut it down this time. Thank you all for being here. Hit that like and subscribe button, if you will. Go check out my season-long fantasy podcast, Another Damn Fantasy Podcast, powered by Stadium Rant on Apple and Spotify. There is some things in the works you might be able to see our faces a little bit more often in the future. But right now, you can find us on the audio version on Apple and Spotify. Go check out stadiumrant.com. Our premium content kicks off on Monday. We've got a whole slew of new stuff coming for you. Go check out stadiumrant.com. We'll be very active all weekend long. Check them out on Twitter at StadiumRantHQ. Follow me on Facebook at The Rumbles of Red. On Twitter, as you see my handle, at Trevor S_FF. Good luck in week 13, guys. Good luck in week 13. May the money be in your favor.